Good day, class. Thank you for attending our fourth lesson. And since some of you are struggling with your signal, data signal, I've decided once again to record our lesson number 4, which is about another teaching approach or learning theory. It only tells us that this is one of the approach in teaching, or it says that students learn more when we apply this approach. Ang tawag po sa approach na pag-aaralan natin ngayon is systems approach or systematized instruction. Now, I know that you are already taught how to prepare a lesson plan. And if you will recognize, may mga parts ang lesson planning. And ito pong system approach or systematized instructional planning can be done while you are preparing your lesson plans. Ibig sabihin, bago mo gawin or i-implement ang iyong lesson. And it has different parts. Now, if you're considering now, if you will report this week or next week, you might apply these steps that you will learn in our discussion. So for today, nais ko pong malaman ninyo, or after this lesson, I hope that you will be able to define systematic approach to teaching in your own words. Okay? So after this lesson, sana ma-define nyo na ang ibig sabihin ng systematic approach to teaching. And also, identify the different elements or parts of a systematic approach. And then later on, I'll be sending you a post activity wherein you will also construct a graphic representation of the systems approach to instruction or to teaching. Now, ito yung na-forward ko na chart sa inyo kanina or figure, and this describes what systematized instruction is all about, and it also shows the different elements, phases, or parts of this instruction or approach to instruction. Now, iisa-isahin po natin yan mamaya. But as you look at this figure, okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions and I hope that you can answer it while you are listening to this video. Ang una po is, who is the center of the chart? What does the central location in the chart mean? Okay? Sino nga ba ang nasa sentro nitong chart and anong ibig sabihin na siya ang sentro nitong chart? Next is, what are the steps of the instructional process or the parts of a systematic instruction? Ano ba itong mga iba't ibang steps or parts of this instructional process? And anong ibig sabihin ng each part na ito? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng define objectives, choose appropriate methods, and so on and so forth in teaching? Pang-apat, in what way does the chart show the systematic or systems approach to instruction? Are these elements or phases of instruction independent? Or, ibig sabihin, it exists on its own? Or is it interdependent? It relates to one another. Okay, so mamaya po ay masasagot natin yung mga tanong. And last question is, can the arrows, nakikita niyo yung arrows are pointing outwards to the parts? Can these arrows be made to point also to the center or central point, which is the learners? Okay, so yan po ay sasagutan natin mamaya. But first, let us define what it means when we say systematic approach or systematic instructional approach. Now, pag sinabi nating systematic or systems approach. Okay? Yung word mo ng systematic, definition niya, pag sinabihan ka na you're a very systematic teacher or itong office na to, very systematic. Okay. Or ang pagkaka-arrange mo ng iyong kwarto ay very systematic. It means that it's organized. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nasa orderly fashion siya. Methodical. Okay? Merong procedure, maayos na procedure. It's logical. So it follows a specific procedure and also pinag-isipan yung sistema, yung pagkakaayos mo. And then it's efficient. It means that it's effective. Hindi lang once or twice, but thoroughly and in all parts ay effective ang isang nagawa mo, na arrange mo, or your approach. Now to teaching, we will go into details kung anong ibig sabihin ng systematic approach. But first of all, mayroong purpose itong systematic approach or systematized instructional design. Okay, syempre, from the word itself, this is said to be significant to apply in instruction because it ensures orderly relationships and interactions of the teachers, the students, other personnels, technical and environmental resources, okay, such as equipment, materials, facilities, to fulfill the goals which have been established for instructions. These goals are sometimes called objectives in your instruction. Now, the focus of systematic instructional planning, nakita nyo kanina sa chart, ang focus ay nasa gitna, which refers to the learners. Now, this systematic approach to teaching is about your students. Siya ang sentro ng iyong focus when you prepare your lesson. Not your skills, not just your skills, of course, not just for your convenience or kung anong available sa iyo, but your focus is about your students. Now, what does each step mean dito sa nakikita natin sa chart? And are these independent or dapat ba related siya to each other? Okay, so yan din po ang alamin natin. Now, these are the different parts or phases of the systematized instruction. As you could see on top, makikita nyo yung pinakauna ay define objectives. Okay, if you're doing your lesson plan, hindi ito naaalis sa parts ng lesson plan wherein you are going to write down your objectives or goals in your lesson. Now, pag sinatabi natin systematized instruction, it's not just about your lesson. It's not just about the topic that you want to talk about, but it could also mean that it's based from the course guide. It's based on the curriculum. So, hindi lamang po ng teacher, kundi you will consider the school system and then yung national educational system natin. So, it should be aligned to it. So, we also define specific objectives. Kung tayo naman, kayo bilang mga estudyante, nagre-report kayo, it means you are delivering instruction to your students, to your classmates. In this sense, you have to also be able to identify and define your instructional objectives, considering yung needs ng listeners, yung interest ng listeners, and readiness. Well, I'm expecting that you're interested in this subject because you're taking up education. And learning this instructional process or different approach to preparing your lesson is very important. And second year pa lamang kayo, so It means this lesson is preparing you for your upcoming subjects and courses, which is more about, yun nga po, how you will learn how to teach and how you can develop your skills as a teacher, as a communicator, as a speaker, as also a lifetime or a lifelong learner. Okay, so balikan ko yung unang step. The starting point of the systematized instruction is to be very clear with your objectives. Kung hindi pa klarado sa'yo, why you need to teach that topic to your students and what can they get or what will they be able to do after doing the activities or um, attending your class. Then you have to be very clear about it at the beginning of your instructional planning. Define your objectives. Let's say you want to teach your students about the circulatory system. Okay? At gusto mong um, malaman ng mga estudyante mo yung different parts of the circulatory system. So, ilalagay mo yan sa iyong objective. Okay? Ang topic mo, circulatory system. And one of your objectives na ilalagay mo ay identify the different parts of the circulatory system. So, that's one of your objectives. Now, when it comes to your students' needs, do they need to know about that? Yes. That'll be good for their health to identify and know kung ano nga ba yung parts and also the functions of these different parts of the circulatory system. Interest, pupukawin mo yung interest nila. But first of all, you have to be clear kung ano ang gusto mong malaman ng yung mga estudyante sa yung lesson and of course, their readiness. Okay, next is choose appropriate methods. So once you have your objectives, it's clear to you what you want your students to learn and what you want to teach to your students, pipili ka na ng mga appropriate teaching methods to use. Are you going to record a video or make some visual aids or allow them to what? So, do activities. So, depende po sa teaching method na mapipili ninyo which you consider appropriate to their needs, to their interests, and to their readiness. At lalong-lalo na magtuturo kayo sa mga elementary students or sa physical education students. So, magkakaiba po ang inyong mga audiences. So, dapat alam nyo at aalamin ninyo, pag-aaralan ninyo, how you can choose appropriate methods for your students. Ang isang bagay ay kilalanin mo ang iyong mga estudyante. Okay, so sa panahon natin ngayon, medyo may challenge to get to know you personally. So I hope you listen and watch this video because, and also participate, comment, and do the activities. That's one way for me to know you base doon sa mga outputs, recitations, and participations nyo in this subject. The third is choose appropriate experience. Now that you have selected your method, pipili ka rin po, you will also determine the appropriate learning activities or experiences na ipapagawa mo sa iyong mga estudyante. Pag sinabing experiences, this involves activities of students na i-involve sila. Okay? And syempre, when you do some activities, you can, or most probably, you will also be using materials, equipment, and facilities in your lesson. So, dito papasok yung educational technology. Kailangan pala, as a teacher, alam mo muna yung objectives mo, may selected method ka, may selected learning activity ka, para appropriate din syempre yung choice of materials, equipment, and facilities na gagamitin mo. Or let's say, kung ano yung available sa inyo at sa iyong mga learners. yun din po yung pipiliin mo. Kasi, yun nga, at the beginning, we have established that this is learner-centered. Kumbaga, yung mga estudyante mo ang i-consider mo in this instructional planning. And susunod po, assign personnel roles. So define the role of any personnel involved in the preparation, setting, and returning of this learning process. When I say personnel, this could refer to you and your colleagues when you become teachers, you as reporters, you and your group mates. I-define mo anong role nila in your lesson preparation, lesson setting, and returning of this learning process. Or also, you can give specific roles to your students aside sa ginagawa nilang learning activities. So, ang gagawa nun, syempre, ay ang teacher. Ang teacher ang mag-a-assign ng roles for those who will help you achieve this organized, efficient, systematic na pagtuturo. Okay? And then, of course, hindi lang plano, you're going to implement now the instruction with, of course, the objectives in mind. Isasagawa mo na yung plinano mong activities using the method that you have selected, the learning activities that you have chosen, as well as the learning materials na pinili mo with the help of other personnel or students na may roles that you have defined for them. After, of course, implementing the instruction, meron pa pong gagawin, and that is to evaluate outcomes. So, kaming mga guro, di ba, after nitong lesson, merong post-activity or meron kaming iniiwang assignment. And kapag sinagutan niyo yung assignment na yun, doon namin i-evaluate kung meron nga bang natutunan or na-copy-paste lang ba or na iba lang yung isang word or dalawang word, pareho lang yung sinubmit nila. Those are some qualitative ways to assess if the students learned something. Kaya ako, class, I don't like answers that are very mechanical. Yung parang napakaganda nun na pagka-word, pero nung kinausap ko yung estudyante, hindi niya mai-explain. So I prefer those answers that are yung honest answers para mas ma-evaluate ko talaga kung may natutunan or hindi. And one way to evaluate ay syempre, meron kang maipoproduce or meron kayong makikita ko na after this, nakagawa ka ng diagram, nakagawa ka ng graphic representation of systems approach. It means, may natutunan talaga siya. And another is, at the end of this course, ang pinaka-final output nyo is you will be recording a video mo na nagtuturo sa mga bata or sa mga kapwa mo kabataan. If your course is BE Ed, syempre, bata, isa or dalawa or iilang bata ang pwede mong i-feature sa yung video na tinuturuan mo with guidelines that I'll give soon. And if you're a BPED student, syempre naman, you can teach kids or young people. Basta pipili kayo ng topic, gagawa kayo ng lesson plan, and then i-implement nyo yun. At hindi nyo lang i-implement, hindi nyo lang bibidyohan yung lesson nyo, ipapas nyo din yung evaluation nyo doon sa pagtuturo ninyo. Kung may natutunan ba yung mga estudyante mo. Okay, and then you'll also pass some recommendations. Dito sa last part, yung refining the process. Wherein, after mo ma-assess kung may, alin ba yung hindi masyado nilang natutunan, yung natutunan nila, or may kailangan bang baguhin sa aking method or activity. Tawag dun sa next step ay refining the process. So ito po ay reflection mo sa natapos mong lesson and assessment. So kung na-attain yung instructional objectives mo, okay, the teacher will proceed to the next lesson going through the same cycle once more. So if yung assessment shows that na-achieve yung goals mo. Let's say, na-identify nga ng mga bata yung different parts of the circulatory system as well as its function. Then that's one. And then they were able to do yan, lahat ng objectives mo. 85 to 100% na achieve, then you can proceed with the next lesson. Kung hindi, then pwede mong gumawa ka ng pamamaraan to again, ma-facilitate yung learning sa kanila sa topic that you are discussing. Okay? So it's very important that from beginning, middle to end, lahat ng part na ito ay mahalaga sa systems approach or systematized instruction. So kanina nabanggit natin yung choose appropriate learning experiences. So it means you're going to select appropriate learning activities. At ito po ang mga halimbawa na mga learning activities that we do in a class. Alam ko marami pa kayong alam na ginagawa nyo ngayon sa inyong online class that you can try also when you teach or do your final output for this course. Okay, so here are the systematic approach to teaching as we end. Okay, sum up lang natin. Systematic approach to teaching refers to a network of elements or mga different parts or phases na magkakaiba. Magkakaiba, like defining objectives is different from selecting appropriate method, but each one is important. Each one is special in the sense that each performs a unique function for the effectiveness, okay, for the motivation of your students and effectiveness of the instructional system. This approach views that the entire educational program, sa kagaya sa atin, yung K-12 program, ang ating sinusunod na ngayon, is a system of closely interrelated parts. Pati yung pag-progress ng mga lessons nyo in this course ay interrelated. And part yan ng pag sinabi nating systems approach. Now, systematic approach, it is orchestrated learning pattern with all parts or steps harmoniously working together. Kaya kasama po dyan yung school, the teacher, the students, your objectives, the media, the materials, the assessment tools, and your procedures in teaching. And this approach integrates the older, more familiar methods and tools of instructions with the new ones, such as the computer and other technologies or modern technologies. So systematic approach to teaching is one of the commonly used approach to teaching, lalo na sa ating bansa. Okay? So this structured approach to teaching ay pwede mong mai-apply when you discuss your lesson, when you report, and when you do your presentations. And of course, apply this when you prepare your lesson plan. So I hope that makakagawa na kayo ng makakasagot na kayo sa post activity ko sa inyo na isi-send later on. So thank you very much, class, for listening and watching this video. I hope you learned something about systematic approach. You can now describe in your own words anong ibig sabihin ng systematic approach instruction and what are its different parts or steps, and construct a graphic representation of this system na isasubmit nyo mamaya together with your other outputs. So thank you, class. Have a nice day. Bye.